Hey, lovely people. So, I did want to do a quick follow up video to my video about the quiet quitting. I feel like I'm not going to do myself or you justice if I don't go in a little bit deeper into the downside that I see as a recruiter and someone that has worked in the HR field of quietly quitting or quitting in silence. And I feel like the reason why this whole phenomenon is called quietly quitting because eventually you're going to get to the point where you're likely going to quit. Now, quietly quitting, as I talked about in the video, I'll link it somewhere in here. It's basically that you're showing up to work. You're not actually quitting. You are showing up to work, you're logging online, you're doing all the things that are required in your job. You're just not motivated anymore. You're checked out mentally and emotionally. You basically are doing a job and you don't care. Now, the downside, and you can think internally and also externally about this. One downside is the fact that you're likely, if you don't care, you're mentally checked out, you're emotionally checked out at a certain point. Well, how good of a service are you providing? So let's think of someone that is a doctor or a healthcare worker. Do you really want someone operating on you if they are a little checked out and they're just, I'm just doing this job? Or maybe a nurse, let's take it down a notch. A nurse that they're just like, whatever, I don't really care. I'm here, I'm showing up to this job. I don't really care about these patients anymore. I'm just doing the job because I know they need me. They're not going to fire me at this point, and it is what it is, right? The person that you're working with, they are going to get the brunt of it, right? They're going to get the brunt of you quietly quitting or quitting in silence. We can even take it to just normal examples. Everyone's not in a hospital or in, going to be in a situation where they need help from a nurse, but we all are shopping. Most of us are going to Walmart, Target, grocery store, or wherever. So your service is definitely going to be affected if you have more and more people that are mentally and emotionally checked out. They could have offered you this coupon code, but they don't care anymore, whatever. They did their job, they scanned things, whatever. They could have been very pleasant to you and said hello and smiled, but they don't really have to. You're just scan, put it in the bag, take your payment, right? So the little things that add up to one, not only is that person not feeling great, the person that's actually quietly quitting, but also now it's affecting the customers, the people that you work with. Let's say you're in an office setting and let's say I'm quietly quitting and someone's like, hey, I really need help with this. I don't offer any help. Like, oh, okay. Well, I'm about to go. It's almost 5. See you later. And I do that all the time. Someone asks me, hey, can you actually stay here a little later and cover this event for me? I had something come up, whatever. Anytime I'm just like, no, because I did my job and I did my work, whatever. Let's also think about your team, right? They're also going to be affected. And I talked about in the last video, a lot of us are already burnt out. So why make it harder for your team? The next thing I want to talk about, this is more about the long-term effects of quietly quitting and my experience of seeing what happens to people. And in the past, it's called coasting. It wasn't called quietly quitting. But we're in a great job market right now. Companies are really having a hard time in certain industries to find the right talent. Not only talent, but the right talent they actually are excited about, they feel like will be a good addition to their teams. And so I wanted to point out that just like with the economy, we have ups and downs, we have different markets within a job setting, right? Sometimes it's an employer market, tons of people looking for work, not enough jobs to give. And then we have the candidate market, which a big part of it is from 2020 and the Great Resignation that followed in 2021. So this is not going to last forever, right? Not going to last forever. And so what you have to think about is the time period that you are quietly quitting, other people are going to notice. Your team members are going to notice. Your manager should be noticing. And what they should be doing is finding ways to help you be more engaged, figuring out what's going on with you, how they can help. What do you need? Do you need a break? Do you just need a vacation? Do you need to restructure your hours? Do you need a different type of job or a different manager, different team, whatever? Good companies are going to try to find ways to retain good talent, right? But let's say all that's happening and you're still checked out. You're like, nope, silently quitting. My mind is gone. I'm here, but I'm gone. Well, let's fast forward to when it's not a candidate market anymore. Now it's an employer market and more people are looking for jobs. The next time a company may have a tricky scenario, let's say with the economy, say the economy is going down, it's an employer market now, and now you really do need the job. You don't see as many options for yourself outside of your current role. Well, if there was a scenario where the company needs to lay off employees because of financials or whatever reasons, they're typically going to not look to lay off the top performing employees, right? But they are likely going to look at those employees that were just doing their job, AKA they were quietly quitting. And that's not a great thing. I've had that experience when I first started recruiting. It was in 2014. Bad job market. Like, it was just not good. Had folks getting out of school like me. Some of them went back to grad school just because they couldn't find a job. They were like, oh, just go to grad school, which is stupid in my mind because now you're accruing debt and not having a job. Anyway, all that to say, it was not a great market. And I remember a person I talked to who actually worked in tech. He had been laid off. And during our conversation, I learned that they hadn't been learning. They had used a mainframe system for a really long time and didn't know anything else. And the systems that we were on, the skills that we needed, they just didn't have. And it seemed like, in my mind, it seemed like they were just coasting through their job. They hadn't learned, they hadn't grown. And that's not a great scenario to be in. Not just for the company, but also for you. You're spending 40 hours a week at work. Now, I don't think that you need to be in a state of, oh my gosh, constantly thinking about work, go, go, go mentality all the time. But I do feel like you should be in a space where you are mentally checked in, you're emotionally invested to the point where, you like your job, you want to do well at your job, you want to like the people that you work with, you want them to like you, all of that easy stuff. It doesn't have to be very extreme. There are people that take it way too extreme. They're constantly working weekends, doing this, bending over backwards, doing backflips, and all of these things. And that is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a normal working relationship where you're there to do your job. You're also, if you find time, or you're looking to find time to do other things as well, take on different projects, go to trainings, learn some new skills, grow with the company basically, and happily do so, right? You're in a role that you genuinely enjoy, and so you're happy to be there. And if you are happy and motivated to be in a role and a company, everything else should fall into place as long as the environment is right, which is another conversation. So with that, I'm going to close out this video. Let me know what you think. I'm talking from my perspective here. So if you totally disagree with me and you're like, nope, quiet quitting is great. Silently leaving a job is great. That's fine. I'm open to your perspective. Let me know why you think that way. And if you haven't liked the video, give it a like. Likes are free. And with that, I will see you in the next video if you are subscribed to me. Bye, lovely people.